duties, I think the same thing. Yeah, obligation means what you need to do when you are an auditor. Same thing as the duties. Yeah. Okay, statutory law. Okay, this is very important. Um, um, it says that statutory law is the most important source of law. In other words, among the four or five, the fifth one I told you is the company's memorandum and article association. Yeah, but no more around now. Yeah, so we can just say there are four sources of auditors' rights, duties, and obligation. Yeah, but the most important among them, and the most important one among the four, is the Companies Act. Yeah, because it comes from us. Yeah, we are the most important in the country, not the Prime Minister, not the cabinet, not Agong, not the royal families. No, 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 no. So the most important source of law, yeah, for rights, etc., for the auditors, yeah, come from what our representative, our wakil, have passed in parliament to turn, what do you call that? In English, it's called bill. Yeah, to act. Yeah. So that's it. Yeah. The most important, because it comes from us or our representatives. Okay. It is made up of acts. I think they're talking about acta there, yeah, acts, yeah, that have received legislative approval from and obtained the force of law. Okay. Statutory law or statutory law, yeah, is complemented and supplemented, all right, by common law. And finally now, yeah, they in bracket there, you can see the word judge-made law, yeah, because common law, I told you earlier, yeah, before the break, is formed by the judgment, yeah, or the written explanation of the judgment passed by judges in court, yeah, and judges, yeah, you see the word complemented inside. When they pass the when they make the judgment, yeah, when they come up with the sentencing, they have to come up with the written explanation first, yeah. Okay, this thing, yeah, in that second sentence, yeah, complement, menggenapkan, and supplement, menyokong, ya, menyokong, apa dia? Complement and supplement the statutory law. This, in other words, they work together. They need to come together. Yeah, not just for audit, auditors' rights, etc., for everything. Yeah, that that Malaysians, citizens, and people from outside Malaysia, when they come to Malaysia, they need to follow. They are the laws. Yeah? But should they conflict? Okay, but should they conflict? Who knows? Yeah, some judges they make a wrong judgment. They don't know the law. Yeah, they are human too. Yeah, so when that happens, yeah, bertentangan, yeah, the two laws conflict, yeah, with each other. Statute law prevails, not common law, not the judgment made by judges. No, you can see also in this sentence what come from the rakyat, yeah, are more powerful. The law passed by parliament is more powerful. But then in Malaysia, our parliament is nothing. Yeah, it's been like that from the very beginning. It's always the prime minister, the cabinet, this minister, that minister, you know, all their faces. day in, day out, in social media, in TV, on TV. It's all about them. But actually, it's the parliament or it's the laws passed by the people who we vote for are most important. Yeah, making it crucial for auditors to be aware, because the statute laws are so very important, the most important among all the sources of laws. Yeah, yeah, among the sources of auditor duty, etc. The last sentence try to say that you need to know. You auditor, you are going to become auditor. You need to be aware of the legislations of concern. All right, okay. 1.1. 1.1 is concerned with three things, and it comes from, and it's related to section 172. Pelantikan, removal mean diubah. Yeah, the company remove you from being its auditor. Resignation means, you on your own, you the auditor, you decide to resign, berhenti daripada menjadi auditor. So there are three things. Okay, look at the appointment first. Under paragraph 1 and 2, yeah, section, that's how you read it, yeah. Under paragraph 1 and 2 of section, as there is section 172, every company must, yeah, in Malaysia, yeah, no exception. But under Companies Act 2016, I think there are exceptions. Yeah, under 1965, no exception. But under 2016, not every company. So this is not true anymore. This is outdated already. Dah lapuk. But also, right, we read this, and it's true for most companies. Yeah? For most companies in Malaysia, they must appoint an auditor. Di mana? Bila? At AGM. Yeah, annual general meeting, the company AGM. Only one AGM, yeah, every year. So there, yeah, the company or the shareholders actually need to appoint an auditor, yeah, to hold office from the conclusion, yeah, from the end of the meeting end until the end of the next year AGM. So normally it's a 12-month period. Yeah, when you appoint as auditor, is for a period of 12 months. Yeah. Okay, for new company, okay, listen very carefully. This actually this is complicated. But you don't really need to trouble yourself, to know these things, like crazy. No. We'll just go through. Okay, just now, they talk about in general, and then the next sentence they talk about a company that has just been formed. For a new company, yeah. So this is the first year, yeah, as a company, yeah. At the company incorporation, di saat pembentukannya, the directors may appoint, yeah, the first auditor. In other words, there is not yet any AGM. So how could an AGM appoint? So who appoint the auditor at that time? The directors. Yeah? Before the first AGM, yeah, to hold office until, okay, if the directors fail to do so, okay, so there is a second party. When, yeah, the auditors may be appointed not by the directors anymore, but by the company, in other words, shareholders. When they use the word company here, they're talking about shareholders. Where or when? At the first GM, not AGM. I think there can be several GM, yeah, in a year, within a year for a company. Yeah. I don't know whether there is a limit. Yeah. You ask a lawyer, or you ask your lecturer teaching you, I don't know, company design or something. Yeah. So here they say the first GM. Okay, so not the writers, then shareholders at the first GM can, okay, this is for new company, a company that has just been formed. Okay, there is a third party now. Next sentence, yeah, by Act, paragraph, section 172, paragraph 10, if an auditor is not appointed or reappointed at the AGM. Okay, so this is not about new company anymore. This is just about, this is for company that's been around, yeah. Any member of the company may make an application to the registrar. They're talking about ROC here, Registrar of Companies, for the appointment of an auditor. Okay, so okay, what's important for you to understand is that there are different parties at different times for different reasons. Yeah, given the rights, yeah, to appoint auditor, to appoint auditor. Why this is important? Why this is such an important thing? Why? Because let me tell you, auditor cannot come in to do the job of an auditor without the auditor being appointed first. Yeah, you have to be appointed under section 172. Okay, yeah, but what else? Why this is so important? Yeah, why do you think this is it related to independence or some other ethical thing? Okay, let's just go on first. Yeah, where a casual vacancy arises. Okay, what does it mean? You see, they don't define what is casual vacancy. Casual biasa-biasa. Ya, kekosongan maksudnya kekosongan biasa, maksudnya tak ada juru audit dah. Sebabnya, I think that the meaning come from the word, the meaning come under the word casual there. But here you don't find. Yeah, you see, this is how they write. I just hate this kind of writing, I'm telling you. Well, thank God, when I was a student, I didn't get to work with this kind of writing. Yeah, I was a student in US. Yeah, everything is always so clear. And I can tell you, my lecturer at that time and some of the people who knew what happened, they were very surprised because I got A, yeah, but not just any A. I got very high score, yeah, for the course. Probably the highest. I can't remember. Maybe not the highest, one of the top 3 or 5. It's around, I can't remember, probably 30, 40 plus students. Yeah, and my English was terrible. Yeah, I was from Malay medium. I mean, there was no English medium. Yeah, it was the year when the government at that time decided no more English medium. That's when I entered secondary school. Yeah, anyway, okay. Now, where a casual vacancy arises on the disqualification, removal, or resignation, before, I don't know, okay, maybe, I don't want to try to define the word casual vacancy. I think the way we can understand it is this, yeah. No more auditor for the company because it's found out that the auditor is not qualified to be audited. Yeah, the word disqualification. Or because the auditor has been removed by the company. Or that there is resignation. Maybe, I think, I don't know, maybe that's how you don't have to define the word casual vacancy. I think, maybe we can just understand it to be what I just said to you, yeah, when they mentioned the word disqualification, etc. That before the end of his or her term of office, the directors or the members here, shareholders, yeah. When you come across the word members, it means they're talking about shareholders, the investors, the people who hold shares, the company shares, yeah, may appoint a new auditor, provided the auditor is qualified and has not been previously disqualified from acting as an auditor. I think disqualified from being auditor for that company, but I'm not so sure. Maybe another company, but I think they're talking about being disqualified from that company. What are you talking about here? Because okay, you can become qualified for some time, and then because of certain things that you did later on, or because certain things that because certain things that you do later on, you become disqualified. Okay, how do we know that? Okay, we have to wait until we move to another part. Yeah, when it concerns the topic on qualification or disqualification. Yeah, right now, what is important is that for this appointment 1.1.1 thing, below page 51 and top, there are different parties, who can appoint auditor for different reason and at different, I think, places. Yeah. I think that's what you want to know. Yeah. Because the auditor cannot come in, to do the audit without being appointed first. Yeah, and not just anyone can do the appointment. And then when the appointment is done by those who can do the appointment, it's not just at any time. It has to be the right time and the right place. Yeah, at AGM or at GM, etc. So I think, this is related to independence too. All time from the very beginning, you want to be sure there is a proper way to be followed in appointing the auditor, because you do not want, the appointment is done by the CEO inside the office, his office. Okay, during a phone call, I have now appointed you as the auditor. You cannot do that. If in the CEO or somebody else in the company can do that, is allowed to do that, it could mean that he would probably just choose his friend, a good friend, or his wife, who is an auditor. You see? From that paragraph, you can see. Yeah. They never say a CEO can do the appointment from his office using during a phone conversation. No. Because if that were to happen, probably there is no independent. He or she, the CEO, whoever from the startup company, he or she will probably choose a friend. Why? Because the friend will not talk about the truth, the painful truth inside the company's financial statements. You see? So this is an example. Section 172, paragraph 1 and 2, paragraph 10, later on. This is about independent or ensuring independent. Even though you don't see the word independent anywhere in that paragraph. Okay, let's look at the next one. Removal and resignation. Okay, paragraph 4, section 172 regulates the removal. Okay, this is very clear. It's about independent. What is it? Okay. Why do you say that? Okay, you need to go through it. Although an auditor is appointed to hold office, okay, you can read the rest. We already covered that one earlier. The company may remove him. Boleh may remove, boleh. Dibolehkan menggantikan, mengeluarkannya, menolaknya from office at any time, pada sebarang masa, pada bila-bila masa sahaja, by not, you have to follow, this is about independent, by passing a special resolution, dengan meluluskan. Okay, now earlier, the authors do not define for us, for the readers, the word casual vacancy. What is this? Now we come across the word special resolution. Can you imagine this? If you do not understand that word, how could you understand the importance of special resolution? Or what? How does it relate to this one? They just say the company may remove an auditor, yeah, at any time. But yeah, then there is a need for this thing to happen, for that to happen. What is it? There is a need there is a need to ensure the company has passed a special resolution that talk about removing. Okay, now this is what you need to do. You need to type the word company. You need to type the word removal. You need to type quote unquote, yeah, quote unquote, open apostrophe, two open apostrophe, close for the word, for the term special resolution. Special resolution. In other words, you cannot remove the auditor that you don't like, or for some reason, other reason. Yeah, you cannot remove the auditor if you don't like the auditor. Like, in the case server dynamic, yeah. Let me see what happened. Server dynamic, what happened at the beginning, they wanted to remove the auditor, but at the end, that didn't happen, I think. The auditor, KPMG, volunteered to resign, if I'm mistaken. Huh. Because the auditor said, yeah, KPMG said it's not independent anymore since Cyber Dynamic has brought, yeah, the case against the auditor in has brought the case against the auditor to the court. To the court. So the auditor said they are not independent anymore. Yeah, because now, it looks like KPMG is the enemy to Cyber Dynamic. So when you look at your auditor that way, how could the auditor think that anybody can believe in what the auditor is doing as auditor for the company? Yeah, there'll be no independent of in appearance anymore. Because if you are the enemy, or if you treat your auditor as enemy, yeah, the understanding is that the auditor would do things to hurt you, to bring damage to you. Yeah, okay, come back to this anyway. This one is about the company removing the auditor, and it can only be done with the passing of a special resolution. Jadi bila yang diluluskan ni, di mana sebenarnya tak diberitahu. Ya. Ya. Punyalah bodoh yang menulis macam ni, ya. In the case of a public company, 14-day notice. It should be written 14 days without S, yeah, for days, yeah. 14-day notice of such removal must be given. Just look at that. First, they say you need to pass special resolution. Second, before, let me see, the next sentence, before you can do it, before you can pass a special resolution, you need to issue 2-week notice. Yeah? 14 days means 2-week notice to ROC. Yeah, earlier I forgot to tell you, ROC earlier, I mean, many years ago, there was just ROC. There was no Companies Commission of Malaysia, CCM. But for so many years now, we got CCM, Companies Commission of Malaysia. I think the head is called CEO. Yeah, CEO of Companies Commission of Malaysia. But we still have ROC, I think, inside CCM. Yeah, somebody who, but maybe it is not somebody who is ROC. It is the CEO of CM is ROC. I'm not so sure. Yeah, what is happening now? But I know that there is a post called ROC still. Earlier there is no CCM, so there's just ROC. But now we have ROC, ROB, I think, RO whatever. There are 3 registrars. Yeah, inside CCM. So here they say before you can remove auditor, whereby you will issue the special resolution, whereby you will pass special resolution, you 2 weeks before you do that, you will issue notice to when they say 2 week notice, it means that the minimum period needed before the minimum period needed between the passing of the special resolution, removing the auditor, and the notice. Yeah, the minimum is 2 weeks. In other words, it can be more than 2 weeks, but minimum. In other words, you cannot send the notice 1 week. Yeah, you cannot send the notice less than 2 weeks, 1 week or 10 days before you pass the special resolution removing. And then they say in the rest of the sentence, but similar notice may not be required for private company. You know, there are different types of companies. So when they say 2 week notice needed to be issued before the passing, they are just talking about public companies. Ya, syarikat persendirian, ya, limited company is not of concern here. They don't need, the company doesn't need to issue notice at all when it wants to. Why that is the case? Why for public company? Because for a public company, it means that they've got so many shareholders compared to private companies. Yeah, private company maybe just has 1 or 2 or 3 shareholders. Yeah, but for public companies, when you have so many shareholders, the government wants to make sure, all those shareholders, so many of them, for public company, they need to be protected as much as possible. And in this case, when the auditor is removed or is needed to be removed, there is a fear, like in the case of Serbo Dynamic, some hanky-panky, terrible thing, are going on in Serbo Dynamic, and that's why they do not want the auditor anymore. They want to replace with another auditor. Yeah. So the registrar companies, I think they follow UK here. Yeah, I don't think this is happening in Malaysia. I told people so many times already. Nobody cares about audit in Malaysia. Yeah. Here they say, the ROC works in the works, for the government. So the government needs to protect the shareholders. So the ROC needs to be informed, of any cases, where companies, public companies want to remove the auditors. In US, okay, let me tell you what happens in US. In US, it's only the listed companies, the company listed in New York Stock Exchange, etc. That need to have company audit. When the companies want to remove auditors, they need to file report or something with the stock exchanges, saying why. In Malaysia, I think I don't know since when. I think for listed companies, in Bursa Malaysia, they need to do that too. They need to explain. But in this case, in this paragraph, they're not talking about listed companies. In particular, they're talking about public companies. But they don't talk about whether in that notice, the company need to explain why. I don't know. But I'm not surprised, if you don't find any section or any part in the notice where the company needs to detail out or explain why they want to remove the auditor. Because I tell you already I've told you already so many times, nobody cares about audit. Yeah. Here, because they follow UK Companies Act. Yeah. So UK Companies Act have got this, so they got it too. Yeah. And okay. So that paragraph talks about ensuring the independence of the auditor. In other words, if you are an auditor, you don't have to be worried that the company can just remove you, fire you, buang you, yeah, anytime you want. Okay, it can. No, in that sentence earlier, you read that the company can remove at any time, but with the passing of special resolution, and not just there's a special resolution, yeah, to be around. The company 2 weeks before the passing resolution need to file a notice with the registrar companies. Just look at that. So with these two requirements, before you can remove your auditor, yeah, but you still don't know what is special resolution, isn't it? Whatever it is, okay. I just told you you need to check in the internet, yeah. It means that the auditor, can feel, oh, yeah, can feel that they can feel that they can feel that the independent is still strong. Yeah, they must do the job well, because it is not easy for those from the company who may be unhappy with the good work done by the auditor. Yeah, the auditor can feel that those who are unhappy with the good job done, cannot just remove the auditor. Yeah. All right. Okay. So that is about independent. Yeah. That is about independent. In other words, the auditor can continue to feel that it can do the job with integrity and objectivity. In other words, independent of facts. Independence of fact. Okay. By Act 172, 14 and 15, paragraph 14, auditors can resign from their post before, before the 12-month 12-month period is completed. But they must give notice. What do you mean by that? Notice to who? I think to the ROC. I think. You see, these things are not written well. Yeah. But you have the Companies Act with you. You can check, what the Companies Act 2016 say about these things. And I already given you, answers, or some answers to that second question. Yeah. And then, but then, there is that question. That is for the question about, okay, which parts or whatever in Companies Act are concerned with audit, and which concern with audit, and then the other question, what kind of things they're talking about. So here, we are still in section 7.2, just like the previous one, 111. Yeah, they talk about independence actually. The law wants the auditor to be independent, or to continue to be independent. That's why they make it difficult. Yeah, the previous paragraph, they make it difficult for companies to remove the auditor. And now they talk about resignation. They say that for the auditor to resign, the auditor also has to issue notice. I think the notice means, just like the previous paragraph, is to the registrar companies. And the notice is only, and such notice is only effective if it complies with the prescribed, what is this? Prescribed requirements of form. I do not understand this. Whatever it is, it means that there are things that you need to write down, I think, in the notice. And maybe this is the one where, earlier I was talking about explaining why the auditors. I think it's not. It's earlier I was talking about the company explaining, but maybe it's not the company. It's the auditor in US and also in Bursa Malaysia. In the case of Bursa Malaysia, but I don't know really. I mean, you check out yourselves. Whatever it is, it looks like here when the auditor wants to resign, and he or she can do that at any time. He or she needs to fill in a form. Yeah, that should be attached to the notice. And there are things in the form that need to be filled in, and probably one of them is concerned with explanation. Yeah, why the auditor wants to resign. So this is also about independent, because maybe the auditor wants to resign because the company has told the auditor you cannot collect that evidence. That's just an example. You cannot implement that audit procedure. In audit one, if you study the different types of audit reports, if such things were to happen, the auditor cannot anymore issue the clean audit report. Yeah, the auditor should issue some other types of audit reports. And let me tell you this: even though in your in this audit tool, we don't talk about audit reports, but you need to know about some things related to audit report, because this audit tool is a continuation of audit one. So if you are not familiar with audit reports topic for audit one, you go back. You go back. Yeah. I've got a paper or two papers actually on audit report in my ResearchGate account. I'm not so sure under which folder. Probably audit firms folder. I don't know. Yeah. You can have a look at what it is a research actually. Yeah. Okay. So that's it. Yeah. For 1.1.2. Okay. 1.2. Okay. It has got more things. Yeah. It talks about. Okay. The first one is about rights upon removal. In other words, what are the auditor's rights when the company wants to remove? Ya, maksudnya di sini, what it means here is that, yeah, for a company, it cannot just do whatever it wants, yeah, to the auditor when the company wants to remove the auditor, and we do not want that when the company doesn't want the auditor to continue to be its auditor, because the auditor has got rights too, yeah. The company has the right to remove, but the auditor has also got his or her right, his or her rights, yeah, not to be removed. It's talking about here, the auditor may not want to be removed. So, so this is also about independent. Yeah, this is okay. Let's just look at that one first. Yeah, 1.1, 1.2.1. Auditors are removed before the expiry of the term have the right to make representations in the general meeting. Okay, that is one. What is it about make representation? Does it mean to come to the meeting? Or does it mean it's enough just to get a written thing, something, yeah, to be discussed, to be presented in the meeting? What does it mean? Because there are two types of representation. One is oral. In other words, you go there in the meeting and you say things orally. The other one is written. You don't need to be there. Yeah. It's part of the meeting agenda or document, yeah, to be looked at during the meeting. Yeah. So what is it? It's not clear. It's not clear. No surprise there. This is not the first time. Yeah, our authors don't explain things well. And then they mentioned then the right. Okay, this is the second thing. First, the auditor has the right to make and the word to come in, yeah, to general meeting, probably to say things, yeah, why cannot be removed or whatever. and the right to attend any GM that concerns them as former auditor. Just look at that. Even after you have been removed, you can still come in. You can still come in to talk about whatever that you need to talk about, because um, um, during those meetings, GM, it looks like the work done by the auditor was discussed. So why shouldn't the auditor be around, even though it's no longer the auditor of the company? So you see here, it is again, to ensure, a company, is to understand that the auditor independent is very important. Just because your auditor doesn't follow what you say, doesn't do what you ask them to do, and so the auditor is not independent. When that happens, when auditor were to follow, and the company, is not happy, for the auditor failing to follow what the company says. Okay, let me just say that again. So the company cannot remove the auditor because the auditor doesn't follow what the company wants to do. Yeah, because if that were to be the case, the auditor is not independent, and I think the auditor will now be able, to say, during they use the word representation, to say what happened in the GM. Right support. Okay, auditor are removed. Have the right to make representation and the right to attend. Okay, but okay, when they mention that way, that concerns them. So it's not just about anything that is concerned with for the auditor to come in and say things. It's not just about to explain why the auditor is removed or wanted to be removed. It's about the work too. Anything about the work that would be the work done by the auditor, would be discussed in the even though the auditor is no more the auditor for the company, the auditor can come into the meeting. Okay, now it's another few minutes before 5 o'clock. I believe some people have got another class. Raise your hands. Raise your hand. We have class that begin at 5 o'clock. All right. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to continue anymore. I don't want those people to be late for the class. Oh yeah. The next part in 1.2.1, they talk about the representation. They define. Okay. This time, but I don't think they make it clear still. What does it mean by, because I told you just now, there are two types of representation, oral and written one. And then the next one after that, attendant, kehadiran. Okay, 1.2.2 talks about remuneration. This is important too. This is still about independent. You need to be paid for the work you've done as auditor. So, lastly, certainly that one that is very important is about able to be independent of fact. What is it about? 1.2.3, right to access information. This is about what I told you a few minutes ago. You need to do your job, but if you are told you cannot collect that evidence, you cannot implement this particular audit procedure, you are not in there is what is called limitation of audit scope. So when there is limitation of audit scope, you are not independent anymore. Independent of fact, independent in planning, independent in investigation, independent in reporting, etc. Whatever. In other words, that you need to do during your audit. So That's why in the Companies Act, it is clearly stated when you are an auditor, you can access the company's information. The company or whoever inside the company cannot stop you. And okay, let me talk to you about the audit reports. You cannot. I told you earlier, you cannot issue clean audit report, unqualified audit report. So now you have a choice of either qualified audit report or disclaimer audit report. Yeah, these are the names of audit report. Yeah, you go back to audit one topic of audit report, or you go also to my writing in ResearchGate, probably under audit firm, folder. Yeah, there you will find the discussion of the different audit reports. Okay, so the next one, 1.3, is about what they call statutory duties. Yeah, but here it looks like they talk a lot about audit report. So I'm not going to cover this. Yeah, I'm not going to cover this like crazy in next week class. Probably, I go very fast instead. Yeah, because you have a lot of things here. Yeah, how many paragraphs plus A, B, C, D. So you need to read this. Okay, and then now let's look at I think section 4. Yeah, section 4, I told you, is what comes out in your final assessment. Is discussed beginning page 55. Page 55. I will not. Next week, we'll start. We will finish in 1.2 and 1.3. I hope very, very fast, and then we go straight to part 4. Yeah. So you got. I hope you got the idea already for your assignment. Question 2 related to Companies Act. Yeah. And when we move to topic 4 next week, this is related to your final assessment. Yeah. There are so many pages. I think it goes until the end of the chapter. Yeah, from page 55. Can you imagine it? Yeah, page 55. It continues to top page 65. So how many pages? 10 pages. 10 pages. Yeah. And but I will try to do very fast too. Yeah. There are several things under section 4. Yeah, that you need to topic 4. Yeah, there for the 10 pages that you need to understand. And I don't think these are easy things to understand. Yeah, but they are for next week. They are for next week, and I hope next week too. I'll finish the whole thing under legal liability, and then we can go to the third topic on phase 3, audit completion. Okay, that's it for the class today. Yeah. You have 2 weeks to tell me about what you learned about other assurance services and non-assurance services. Yeah. Talk to those who were in my audit 1 group C last semester. Yeah. Make comparison. Yeah. After you talk to them, find out about what they've learned, and you make comparison to what. I'm not going to be surprised if you're going to tell me, I didn't learn anything that semester under those topics. But I want to hear. Yeah, just list down what you didn't learn. I mean, what you learned. And then I know what I need to cover. Yeah, for that topic. Yeah, that topic will come out in your not directly, indirectly will be covered. I can tell you what will be covered is internal audit. Yeah, I can tell you now. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, internal audit, and internal audit is one of what is called other assurance, but internal audit is also discussed separately. I think I have 4 or 5 materials for internal audit. for you. Yeah. In that compilation. Okay, I have no more. It's another 2 minutes to 5 o'clock. Anything you want to ask me? This is your time. This is your chance. Satya, are you there?
Yes, doctor.
Yeah, anything?
No, sir.
Okay. What about you, Zhang Yu Zhang? You are from China, is it?
Yes, doctor.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Sahira, are you there?
Yes, doctor.
Any questions?
So far, no, doctor.
Have you started working on your assignment?
A little bit only.
Don't wait until the last few weeks of the semester, because you won't be able to do because there'll be more things. I'm telling you coming, and then there'll be other courses too from other lecturers. So you don't want to make the mistake of trying to do everything at the end of the semester. Do whatever you can now. Yeah, with me, it's not about the right answers really. It's about the efforts. Yeah, that you need to show to me. So don't copy from each other. Yeah. If I were to see that, I know that you don't deserve to be my students. You don't deserve to come to class at all too. Yeah. So I don't really care about getting the right answers, A++ answers. Show me the effort. Yeah. And then if maybe I will give you the chance to make correction. So you will need to send me your answers at least 2 weeks before the semester comes to end, so that I will be able to look at what you've done and give you some time to make correction. Okay. So if no question, this is it for the class. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, doctor.
Bye bye.